Welcome to my oral history project. Today I will be interviewing my grandparents, Tom and Louise Golden. My topic is, what was it like growing up in World War II?
When Pearl Harbor was attacked in December of 1941, I was 5 years old. I was not impacted by it, but I know that people older than me were. I think it's because we were cared for. We didn't realize the impact it would have on our life in the near future.
When Pearl Harbor happened, I was 6. And really, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't realize it was a world war. And I never heard of Pearl Harbor. And a lot of people never heard of Pearl Harbor, unless they had relatives who were in the service at that time.
American forces were fighting overseas or training in the U.S. military camps. Family was also fully engaged in the war effort.
After Pearl Harbor, everything went to the war effort. Metal, particularly. There were no toys that were kept in the home. They were contributed to the war. Pots, pans, anything. Newspapers were drawn on wagons by children to the collection point, which was normally at the corner of the street.
The things came up where you had to go collect material for the war effort, like newspapers and metal. And I used to go out and pick up metal from the trash, or go to people's houses and see if they had old toys. There were no plastic toys, they were all metal toys. And they would give you old trucks or trains, and you would take them down to the corner and throw them on the pile. I was down there and I threw an old train on top of the pile, and I really liked it. So I climbed up on the top of the pile and took the train, was carrying it down, when the air raid warden came by and started hollering at me, saying that I was bad, I was stealing from the soldiers, and don't ever do that again. So I had to put the train back, and I wasn't allowed to go near that pile of metal trash for the rest of the day.
Children were encouraged to help recycle materials that were in short supply to make equipment for the war.
With all the men going to war, being drafted, and many of them actually signed up because there was a lot of patriotism. Women worked in factories and did jobs that men normally did. My mother went to the Frankfurt Arsenal, and my mother made 45 caliber bullets. And she was so proud because she said that her supervisor always said she did such a wonderful job.
This changed lives dramatically, especially for women, because men got drafted, the women had to take on new responsibilities.
When I was really young during the Second World War, my uncle Frank McMullen, he joined the Army, and his nephew, which would be my cousin Harry McMullen, got drafted. They both went into North Africa, and my Uncle Frank ended up going to Normandy when they made the invasion of France. I remember my dad taking me one day, it was raining, down to Center City. My dad was a policeman at the time, and he just took me downtown, and I didn't realize it until I was there. It was the Navy recruiting office, and he went to join the Navy. And I remember a sailor giving me a pretzel and putting mustard on for me. And he said to me, "Don't tell my mom about what happened."
Who said that? Your dad?
So my dad told me to say that. So when we went home, my mom asked me where we were, and I told her, which I wasn't supposed, I forgot I wasn't supposed to tell her, that my dad went down and joined the Navy. But he had 3 children at that time, or 4 children, and they wouldn't take him because he had
Too expensive.
too many kids.
The U.S. integrated its first peacetime draft in 1940. Every man from 18 to 65 registered.
The Second Second World War, food was not abundant because it was more crucial that the military were better fed than we. But all people were issued what was called a war ration book. Even on the back it has instructions that says, "This book is valuable, do not lose it."
Americans had to limit their spending since everything was needed for the soldiers at war.
Or there was always a lot of propaganda from the enemy that they were going to bomb the United States. So what we did in school, the teacher would have a specific time when we would practice. She would say, the planes are coming over. Even though it wasn't factual, we knew that at that point in time we had to get under the desks and hide.
At night, and you'd be at home, you'd hear the sirens going off. Every street had a siren, and every house had black curtains. You had to cover over your windows. And if they were not covered, the airway warning would come down and bang on the door, and you would be fined or something. And out front, they had gas lanterns along the streets. He would actually have a little ladder. He would climb up and shut off the gas lights.
Everyone, all throughout America, practiced doing these methods in case of a real bombing attack happened.
Children, our main playground was outdoors. We used to skate, and this is a key that we used to use to tighten them because eventually when you went down they got loose. Jacks was a big thing. The girls would sit on the steps, play jacks. My big thing that I don't know if anyone else ever did it, but I had an old Sears catalog. I would cut the dresses out, let a little loop at the top, put them on a string, attach them to drawers of my mother's secretary desk, and pretend that I was a salesgirl.
When I was young during the war, the milkman would come every day to our house, and he'd put bottles of milk on your porch. My mother would say, "Go get the milk." I'd run out and get the milk and take it into the kitchen. She said, "The Iceman's coming." The Iceman would come down the street with his horse and buggy, and I'd get a nickel block of ice, and I'd hook it up like this and carry it into the ice box. I didn't know anyone who had a refrigerator.
See, growing up during the World War II years was a lot different than growing up today.